I mean, it's men's basketball, women's basketball, and football now, I believe, are the three that the one-time transfers new. The rest of the sports have always had it. So it's a challenge. I mean, it really is a challenge, and that's why you don't see 15 kids on my roster. You keep, if you have 15 on a roster, somebody's got to be okay with doing their time to become better, because you can't play all 15. And hopefully you find a few of them. It's hard though, that you're like, hey, be patient. In a year, I've got 2 kids right now that play your spot. They're seniors. You're going to come as a freshman, you get a chance to learn from them, play some, but then when they graduate, bam, it's yours. It's hard. It's harder and harder to find.
Jeff, obviously your game tomorrow night's big. You have another game this week. Not the biggest game of the week though, because Saturday morning. Can you give me kind of a scouting report on? I think it's number 23 for our Savior Lutheran.
Yeah, it's a big game. I believe. Is that out of Anchorage on Saturday morning?
I believe so.
I believe, and the last game out there, I don't believe we were at full strength. And the officiating was just horrendous. I mean, I couldn't believe it. I mean, I thought I saw you in the parking lot slip a 50 through the one. Was that true? Was that accurate or not?
That was a different team you played. Actually.
Different team. But you're so anti our Savior. You were just paying anybody off. No, you know what? It's been an absolute blast. My wife is coaching our daughter. And she's doing an outstanding job because she has a lot more patience than I do. We do have a little bit of advantage. We've got Jess Levely is doing some individual workouts. So we have hired an expert in the field of player development and Jess. And now we're just trying to get Lola to be a little bit tougher, compete a little bit more. But it's coming along. I've been impressed. She dribbles with both hands. And, when you're in 4th grade, that's a big thing to do. But it's been fun. So I plan to be there on Saturday morning.
What is our Savior Lutheran's one pass shooting percentage?
It's a little different at that age. Because if you can get one pass and you're open, shoot it. You know what? It's kind of what we always say, shoot it before you turn it over. But it's fun. It is really fun to watch them. They have gotten a lot better throughout the season. And just it's fun for me to go watch, and not just my daughter's team, but like whoever plays before and so forth, to see the joy that the kids have and how excited they get for each other when someone scores. And the score is a score. Sure, everybody's trying to win, but I watched a game, it was a 30-point game, and a kid scored, and you would have thought they just won the game. And that's what's fun. It's fun to just see joy. It's fun to see them out there. The parents have been great to listen to, because I obviously pay attention to parents. And when they're out there, just having fun, cheering for them, it's great. Now I'll give them about 5 more years, and then we'll see how things start to shake out.
Yeah.
But right now, it's good for me. It's like going to a volleyball game when I go see my oldest play volleyball.
Yeah.
I don't have any idea about what's going on. I just know when they score. I don't know what kind of offense they're running. I don't know what kind of slide they're trying to do. So for me, I just go watch, cheer, and I'm supportive. Sometimes it's great to not know a thing about it. Anybody else? Guys, you guys are always great. I really appreciate y'all. We've got a big weekend for our volleyball program. Let's make sure if you're in town to get out there and watch them. Our football, I think, has a pretty big game here on Saturday. There's just a lot of exciting things going on right now in this athletic department, and it's fun to be a part of it. So I appreciate y'all. Thank you.
Thanks so much, sir.
Where's that off button? You guys are gonna keep an eye on it. Hot mics, we don't like hot mics, you don't like them. Don't like hot mics at all. Oh, yeah, okay. Yes.
He said you had to leave he still talking about what a great time, what he learned, and the kids were very good.
Good. I like hearing that.
Both those.
Thank you.
Great experience.
You stay right in here. I appreciate Kevin upstairs. We'll take the purpose room.
Sure.
So the TV can set up.
Yep.
We're ready to go.
What's happening?
I'm just gonna grab yours.
It's like we're playing.
Bring it up when I'm done.
Yeah.
There's layers. Layers.
Oh, so we did varsity first?
Yes,
And
but
JV's up next? All right, guys, I understand. I understand how that works. I mean, you should have made, are you kidding me? Hey, but you know who wasn't there? Was the Scott sisters, Barry Scott's kids. Oh, yeah, and there goes British. They're supposed to be there. Yeah, are we playing you guys here?
For a short time.
First cheese. Cheese. Perfect. Are you cooking? Yeah. Oh my God.
You be ready?
We get all the money out here. You kidding me? That's a big game on Saturday.
You guys ready? Okay, go ahead. Brian and TJ.
Brian, I'd like to ask you first your reaction to the big thing, the outstanding blocker.
Yeah, I was really surprised. It's a great honor, especially since that award's voted on by the coaches and the defensive coordinators in the conference. So once I learned that, I was, very humbled to receive it for sure.
For both you guys, playing an extra week is always cool. You're going to get a bowl game, but having this one in the middle of, what's it mean for you guys as a team to be back in there and competing for a championship?
It's good to be, back in the building. I think you mentioned the other day that it's only 10 teams playing this week, so, that's always a blessing to be one of the teams to be able to compete for a championship.
Yeah, competing for a championship is always the goal at the beginning of the season. So to have gotten to this point, it's definitely a blessing and encouraging for all of us. And, we're excited to be practicing still and get ready for the game.
For both of you, obviously Florida State's had a great season, haven't lost yet. Did you get a chance to watch them throughout much of the season? And obviously, especially now with the game coming up, your thoughts on that?
I have watched them, I watched them early in the season because they might have been playing the team that we were getting ready to play. And I definitely watched them after our game. I watched them when they played Florida, and I watched them Sunday and then yesterday, and just trying to steady up on them.
Yeah, I've tried to watch all ACC teams, on Saturdays and weekends, but definitely been watching them throughout the season, and especially this week, obviously preparing for this game. But obviously they're a great team, have a lot of really good athletes, so it'll be a big challenge for us.
TJ, I can't remember if you played last year against Florida State, but what do you remember about Tate and how do you kind of see him just getting better or just kind of compare last year's game against you guys to this year?
Coming in, when we played them last year, it was kind of like the same situation. The quarterback got hurt, and then he came in and he did some things against us. And then, it's a new year. He had another year to get some more experience behind him. And, I believe that his team trusts him. So going into this game, we can't look at it as that they got a backup quarterback in. It's just we got to take full advantage of every opportunity we get.
Brian, what kind of challenges does that defensive front present quite a few athletes and some talented guys?
Yeah, they've got a really good defensive front. Obviously, very talented pass rushers, and they got a couple D tackles inside that are really good pass rushers in themselves and really good against the run also. So, I think it'll be a really big challenge for us. But I think we're pretty good on our side of the ball too. So I'm excited to see how we can do against them.
Brian, playing the offensive line can feel like kind of a thankless job in terms of the recognition. So when you get one like you did yesterday, just how gratifying is it for a guy who's put in as many years as you have to keep developing at the center spot?
Yeah, it's, I'm incredibly grateful for it. Like you said, a lot of work has gone into it, and, I'm incredibly humbled to have received the reward. It's a big honor. And I'd like to say, I was talking to my wife yesterday, I'd like to say it's an award for not only me, but the entire offensive line here, just in the amount of work that we've put in, and, just the whole unit that we have there and the bond that we have is something pretty special. So I'm just very humbled and blessed to be a part of that.
For both of you to be at this level, I guess, to get to that next level this year, first year under Jeff, what does that kind of mean to you all in terms of the program where, you've been part of winning teams, you've seen some rougher years too. Could you have expected this kind of success so soon, and when did you start to feel it was possible?
I think when they first came in, they laid out the expectations for us, and we understood that how we used to do things, it wasn't going to be the same. And then when Coach Brown came in, we knew that the city was going to back us even more. And just from day one, they always preached to us that we got to have that championship mentality, and at the same time, it's a one-game season, so we just took it game by game, and just we kept winning. So that helps, and then that's how we ended up where we is now, to be able to compete for that championship.
Brian, not only for you,
No. Yeah, I was.
Did you ever?
Yeah, I was just going to say that, it means everything to us to be able to get to this point. Coach Braun and the staff has done a great job, obviously, this season. I think we knew the potential we had, but they did a great job of taking us week to week and just continuing to improve us as a team all throughout the year. And so it means everything for us to get to this point.
keep on with you, Brian. Obviously, you guys accomplished this year, but for you two, just getting married and everything that's happened in your personal life, what have these past 6-8 months been like for you?
Yeah, it's been pretty emotional, with me getting married and things in my personal life kind of progressing. That's been a huge blessing. Obviously she's been a big part of my life, and to be able to start that has been huge for me. But also with it being my last year in college football, and I'm just insanely blessed and thankful to be a part of this team with this special group of coaches and with players like TJ and everybody we have in that locker room. So it's just been incredible. I couldn't ask for a better senior year.
Brian, when you look at the success you guys have had, but the 2 games that you lost were turnovers, how disappointing is it in that offensive unit that, hey, we have to make sure we clean that up and we can't do that again?
Right. Yeah. That's, obviously a big focus for us every week as an offense. We can't turn the ball over. We're not going to win games like that, obviously. And, it is really disappointing for us, especially for those 2 losses, because a lot of it was mistakes that we made and were just self-imposed, as an offense. So it's just something that we have to continue to work on, and that the coaches and even the players have really focused on it week in and week out to be able to correct that and not let it happen again.
For both of you guys, you walk in the facility, you see all the trophies. This program's accomplished a lot, but how motivating is it to maybe there's only one first, to be the first Louisville football team to win an ACC championship? Is that something that drives you this week, something you all talk about?
Yeah, it definitely drives us, to be able to be that first team, and that's something that nobody can ever take from you, is being the first team to win a championship, and then just being just everything we've been through this season, to just see the reward that we can possibly get. So just going into this week, we just got to not let the pressure get to us, and we just got to go out and execute.
TJ.
Brian, can you answer that too? Having played at Virginia Tech too.
Yeah. Obviously, like you said, this program was already accomplished a lot of things, but to be the first, it definitely drives us this week, and it's something that we definitely don't take for granted. But like TJ said, we're just approaching this week just like we have every other week, and how we're taking the same process that we did get here. Because we didn't make it all this way just to get to the game, so we want to go win it, and so that's what we're getting ready to do.
Sorry, Brian.
Brian's mic went out.
Okay.
Sorry. Oh, Brian.
Can you hear me?
I can hear him through his mic. I can't. Or is that?
Put it in the middle now.
Sure.
Oh, man, Josh.
Says low, maybe the better you can get from battery.
TJ, Jeff mentioned after the Kentucky game that he thought the defense had kind of been subpar over the last few games. And when you kind of look at the statistical splits, it seems like the defense hasn't been as efficient as they were earlier in the season or at mid-season point. As someone who's on the field play in and play out, what do you think is the biggest reason that the defense is not as effective as it was earlier in the season? And what's kind of the necessary steps you guys need to take to correct that?
I think that the necessary steps that we have to take is just executing. You know, we didn't have in like the previous games, we didn't have plenty of opportunities to make plays, and when the plays come our way, we just got to make them. And so I believe, like, if you watch the film as we watched it, it was certain instances that we was there, we just got to finish it. So that's just the main thing. It's just trying to correct those little mistakes and just toning in on the details, because if we execute the details, then we'll be fine and we'll be able to get back to where we were as a defense.
TJ, I know you play a different side of the ball, but Coach Brom has talked about Brian's leadership and the example he sets. I was wondering what kind of impact he's made as a leader on you guys as a whole team this season.
Yeah, definitely. I believe everybody. There's a lot of people on the team that look up to Brian, and I see how he leads the team, and I try to take that and help, and it helps me be a better leader, because that's one thing that the coaches want me to be better, as be a better leader, be more vocal. So I believe, and just watching him and just being here, I think we got here like around the same time, like when he transferred in. So I done seen like him be able to grow and be a leader. So.
For both of you, I guess maybe mostly for TJ, because Brian or Jeff made such an emphasis of it, kind of bouncing off the question about the defense. And when he was talking about how there's been a lot more points given up the last 3 games, as well as turnovers on offense, he kind of put that on the coaching staff's shoulders. When you hear, like yesterday, he said, we're going to put that on ourselves, not on the players. When you hear your coaches speak like that, what's that mean to you to hear the coaches take so much responsibility?
It just shows you that they care. And they don't want us too down on ourselves to be able to, because you get too down on yourself, you might not be able to bounce back. And then if you have a coach that's always just blaming things on the players, then you're not going to feel confident anymore. So just them taking that responsibility. And us as players, we have to take some of the other responsibility, just because we're the ones out there. We're the ones out there playing. So, I mean, it means a lot for them to take responsibility. But we know that coaches and players got to do better going forward.
For both of you, Coach Brom said the other day that he feels you got something to prove. What's your take on that? I mean, after the Kentucky game, do you feel that way? And another part of that is been difficult to get that loss out of your mind.
I feel like you always have something to prove, no matter what it is. We obviously want to win. We want to win every game, but just going from last game, just moving forward. Now we just want to show that we've gotten better from last week, and when we go on our field on Saturday, we want to show that.
Yeah. I'll just say that, as a competitor, you always want to win every rep, and we've got a lot of dudes in that locker room and on the coaching staff, and all we want to do is win. So, when we don't do that and where we fall short, that stays with us. So we have to, just like Coach talks all the time, we have to work to move on from that. But, that drive is always that competitive edge is always with us. So, that's just kind of what drives us for sure.
I'm going off that a little bit. Early in the year, I think Media Day, you were talking about, you had heard all about the Broms, you'd heard all about the good things and the positives, and then you all were seeing that, and we've seen that throughout. With a loss, did it surprise you, or is it different of how upset maybe Coach Brom gets, and how he kind of is hard on himself and on everybody else? I mean, it is different when you lose.
Yeah, for sure. And, I think the biggest thing that you see with Coach Brom, and it trickles down to the whole staff, is that he just cares a lot about this program and about each player in the locker room. And to go back to what TJ said, it shows with a loss how he takes a lot of the blame on himself and the coaching staff. But that just shows that he cares and he wants us all to play confident every day and just prepare to go out and put our best foot forward. And so, but at the end of the day, it also falls on the players too, because, no matter what play is called on offense or defense or special teams, we're the one out there and we have to go out there and just make the play. So, but yeah, I think it just goes back and it just shows, and through wins and losses, just how much he cares about this program and each player.
Anything else? Okay.
TJ, their running game, their line's big. Talk about the running backs and what you've seen with those guys for Florida State.
Yeah, they as far as I've seen so far, they have the 2 running backs, number 3 and I believe it's number 9. They do a good job of finding open holes and open gaps. They O-line, they definitely open up lanes for them. So we just this week have to stay in our fits and stay in our gap and get knocked out.
Do you guys have any memory of the 2016 Louisville Florida State game? It was kind of like when he became a Heisman Trophy candidate. Do you all have vivid memories of watching that? Or
I think I remember seeing some highlights. I think it might have been like a high scoring game if I remember. But yeah, that was definitely a good game.
Yeah, I was at the game actually, so I remember it very well. Yeah, for sure.
what kind of things stand out? I mean, Jair had the punt return, Lamar the spinning touchdown.
Yeah, it was. I was amazed. You know, obviously they have a lot of talent on that team, and it was just total domination on Louisville's part. So yeah, it's exciting to look back on that.
Yeah. All right. Good.
Thank you all.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Yeah, was that something else?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is this like a big thing for you? I guess it's yeah, whatever the guys going to the Frazier. What is all the Virginia players?
We're going to.
Oh wow.
So I'm gonna be up against it. Should be good.
I'm gonna have that with Jeff Walz. Yeah, maybe. I went to school in Kansas City. Like even St. Louis Park, he just takes it for like,
Yeah, but
So it's still like a walking thing. You can get some videos.
2 o'clock. 2 o'clock.
yeah, we'll probably figure this out. Something else.
Is it just coach talking?